There is something more disturbing than failure. It is seeing someone become what you refuse to become. That is the mirror effect. Your success is not what offends jealous people. Your existence is. Because when you rise, you become evidence. Evidence that discipline was possible, that courage was available, that excuses were a choice. And the moment your life becomes proof, their comfort begins to collapse. Because your presence is no longer neutral, it becomes a confession they never wanted to make. Jealousy is the tribute that mediocrity pays to genius. And when they realize they cannot compete with you, they stop trying to surpass you and start trying to stain you. Most people misunderstand jealousy. They think it is simple resentment. It is not. Resentment says, I do not like what you have. Jealousy says, I cannot bear what your existence says about me. That is a deeper wound, a more private humiliation, because jealousy is not triggered by your reward alone. It is triggered by your alignment, your focus, your order, your refusal to betray yourself for approval. That is what unsettles them, not your applause, not your title, not your visible success, but the structure beneath it. Carl Jung understood something most people spend their lives avoiding. Human beings are not most disturbed by what they see outside themselves. They are disturbed by what it awakens inside themselves. Jung called this the shadow, the rejected self, the denied self, the unlived self, everything a person could have developed but did not. Everything they wanted to become, but abandoned. Everything they were capable of, but buried beneath comfort, fear, conformity, or cowardice. And when someone else begins to embody that buried possibility, the shadow stirs. This is where jealousy becomes psychologically dangerous, because the jealous person does not experience you clearly. They experience you symbolically. You are not just a person to them, you are a reminder of their hesitation, their compromise, their wasted years, their unrealized power. So understand this clearly. They do not hate you, not really. They hate the version of themselves they see in your reflection. You are simply the screen onto which they project their unlived life. This is why their reactions feel irrational, because they are. Instead of saying, I am ashamed that I betrayed my own potential, they say, you think you're better than everyone. Instead of saying, your courage reveals my passivity, they begin inventing defects in you. That is projection. That is the shadow speaking. And this is why the process Jung called individuation disturbs the unconscious crowd. Because the awakened mind does not preach, it proves. So when jealous people realize they cannot outwork you, cannot outshine you, cannot outgrow you, they adapt. And their methods become darker. The first move is rarely aggression. It is absence, selective silence. Watch carefully. When you struggle, they are present. When you doubt yourself, they are warm. When you are uncertain, they are available. But when you win, truly win, they disappear. No congratulations, no acknowledgement, no energy. At first, it looks small, almost harmless. But silence is information, especially when it is selective. Because genuine people feel joy when they see effort rewarded. They may not fully understand your path, but they can recognize sincerity. Jealous people cannot. Your success applies pressure to their self-image. So instead of celebrating you, they emotionally withdraw to protect themselves. This is not neutrality. It is covert refusal. They hope their silence will shrink your moment. They hope you will feel their absence and begin to dim yourself. Do not. Their silence is not a verdict. It is evidence, evidence that your growth has entered territory where comparison begins. If silence fails, they move to reduction. This is the dimming effect, a passive-aggressive ritual designed to make your breakthrough feel accidental, not earned, not disciplined, not exceptional. You will hear it in small phrases. Perfect timing. You just got lucky. Must be nice. Let's see if it lasts. On the surface, these are minor comments. But psychologically, they are not comments. They are correction attempts. The jealous mind cannot allow your success to remain evidence of merit, so it reframes your achievement as chance. Because if your achievement was built, then their lack of achievement was chosen, and that is intolerable. So they subtract your discipline, they erase your years, they mock your intensity, they trivialize your standards. What they call luck is often preparation, observed too late. What they call obsession is often focus. They never developed. And what they call not that deep is often a depth. They are too shallow to enter. Now the jealousy becomes strategic, because once they realize they cannot outdo you one-on-one, they seek numbers. This is shadow recruitment. They do not attack you directly. That would reveal too much. Instead, they circulate concern, subtle concern, performative concern, weaponized concern. I don't know. They've changed. I just hope success isn't getting to their head. I'm not saying anything bad. I'm just worried. No, this is not concern. It is narrative seeding, a soft campaign. The goal is not to destroy you instantly. The goal is to create fog around you, to make others hesitate, to make your presence feel heavy, to make people question your intention before you even speak. Because insecure people understand something instinctively. If they cannot lower your value, they will try to lower your social trust. And they recruit weaker minds, not with facts, but with tone, not with evidence, with implication. This is one of the oldest social weapons in history. Not accusation, contamination. When they cannot beat your reality, they begin editing your reputation. That is shadow recruitment. This one is especially insidious because it disguises contempt as compassion, the performance of pity. When jealous people can no longer deny your success, they begin mourning it. Suddenly, they become philosophers. Yes, but are they really happy? That life seems lonely. They've become too intense. They're too serious now. I wouldn't want that kind of life. Notice the move. They cannot make you unsuccessful, so they try to make your success look miserable. Why? Because pity is a psychological anesthetic. If they can convince themselves that your growth cost you your humanity, then they are no longer behind. They are balanced. They are normal. They are healthy. But this is how mediocrity protects itself, not by attacking greatness directly, but by associating greatness with emotional loss. Sometimes the path of individuation is lonely, but loneliness is not always a wound. Sometimes it is filtration. The final move is the most revealing. Character distortion. When jealous people accept that they cannot outshine your work, cannot reduce your wins, cannot isolate you enough socially, they go after identity. They rewrite your story. Suddenly your confidence becomes narcissism. Your boundaries become cruelty. Your focus becomes obsession. Your privacy becomes manipulation. Your ambition becomes greed. Your calm becomes calculation. This is not disagreement. This is narrative warfare. And narrative warfare always depends on moral inversion. They need you to become the villain. Because if you remain competent and decent, their bitterness has nowhere to hide. So they build a version of you that justifies their hostility, a colder version, a harsher version, an easier version to resent. Do not be shocked by this. People who cannot reach your level will often attempt to lower your image. It is cheaper than growth, and faster than self-confrontation. Now comes the pivot, the part most people never master. The instinct of the wounded ego is to explain, to defend the intention, to correct the record, to force people to understand. But Machiavelli would tell you something colder. Never fight for clarity in rooms invested in distortion. Why? Because reaction grants legitimacy, explanation invites negotiation, defense implies vulnerability. And jealous people feed on access. They want your words, your emotion, your energy, your participation. Do not give it. The higher law is strategic indifference, not passivity, not weakness, precision. You do not respond to every lie. You do not chase every rumor. You become unreachable, not physically, psychologically. You stop auditioning for fairness. You stop performing innocence. You stop explaining your depth to people committed to surface. This is sovereignty. The moment your peace becomes more valuable than being understood, the moment your standards become immune to public confusion. Real power is not controlling what they say. Real power is no longer needing to participate in what they say. That is dominance. It is refusing to surrender your nervous system to it. So here is the question. Are you willing to let them be wrong about you, to keep your peace? If you are one of the silent strategists, if you understand that true power is calm, disciplined, and unreachable, comment "sovereign" below and walk forward without explanation.